Oh, Candace Owens came back?
Breaking news.
Oh my God. She said Candace Owens came back and said Steven Crowder's a monster, changed my mind. 16 minutes? Are you fucking kidding
that
me?
just happened. And before we get to it, I just want to back up and tell you why we are discussing this breaking news, because it's occurred to me that there are some people out there who believe that to be a conservative, what it means is that we become tribal and we defend other conservatives even when they do things that are wrong, that we don't discuss things that are horrible on our own side because we need to just make sure that we score wins in other ways, and that is wrong. That to me is the exact opposite of why I have this platform. I am not tribal. I want to expose things when they are bad on the left, and I will also expose things when they are bad on the right.
God, I can't get enough of hog infighting though. You know, that shit is spicy, it's delicious, it's decadent, it's a fucking treat. When I see a couple of piggies fucking squealing in a pen, trying to bite one another's ears off or whatever, I say, for me, thank you. Just get in the fucking mud and muck it up, you know? Real sloppy shit. Okay? That's what I want. I want you to fucking oink at one another, and I'm so excited for the prospect. Steven Crowder is fucking awful. A giant piece of shit. A racist person, and most likely deeply closeted, and, you know, probably that kind of repression has a incendiary effect on his commentary that makes it way worse. Okay? Then on the other hand, you have Candace Owens, one of my favorites. I mean, back in 2016, she used to run an anti-Trump website. She actually successfully sued the Connecticut School Board for being victim of a hate crime. I believe they were bullying her for being black, and then turned around and was like, let me show you exactly how anti-black you could be, and make a lot of money doing it. So now you got two fucking demons just getting in the fucking mud. Ooh, fighting one another. You seem perfectly fine. Why'd you cancel Leftovers for no reason? Because I hate the foot soldiers. Okay? I secretly was like, listen, bro, I don't want to fucking do this. I want to do the Leftovers today. No, because I am sick. And I literally wanted to be courteous to Ethan and told him, like, look, I want to come. Like, I'm ready. I took a shower. I'm ready to go. I still want to do it. But, like, I just want to make you know and let you know, heads up, like, I'm sick. I know you're very careful about that kind of thing. And he was like, no, let's cancel it because I don't want to get sick and then make the kids sick because that would be, you know, a calamity. It's so weird. Like, who in the foot soldier fandom thinks, like, I have any sort of, like, resentment where, like, I would, like, deliberately fucking not show up? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what? Why are there like foot soldiers that just like love drama that much? I don't really get it. Anyway, let's get back. Let's get back to the good stuff. The Facebook group I saw a post, I think. Rad libs? What do you mean? There's like Ethan fans that don't like me because they're like more woke than me or something? What? Anyway.
Obviously, I have been interested in the Steve.
Y'all couldn't video chat? Amount weeks. Okay, shut the fuck up, bitch. Yeah, let's fucking dramatically change the way we fucking make content for your own personal interests.
Steven Crowder saga pertaining to his divorce, because he literally inserted me into his divorce a couple of days ago. And his wife and family are now speaking out regarding that video in which he told people publicly that his wife was leaving him. You remember this. He chose wrong. And he essentially made it sound as if he did not want his marriage to end, but his wife simply wanted to leave. Well, she has responded by giving video, and I want to prep you. I want you to know this is horrific video. It is very difficult to watch. It's especially difficult to watch because in this footage, she is 8 months pregnant. And the video essentially reveals just how emotionally abusive he has been. And she is alleging that he has been emotionally abusive to her. And this video all but confirms it. So let's first get to the footage. I'm just going to allow you to watch it in its entirety.
We're gonna skip this part because we already watched it. It's pretty fucked up. I mean, he's being an abusive shithead.
Up, end quote, which led his wife to flee their home. She then sent a statement which...
It's kind of wild. Candace Owens hates fucking Steven Crowder so much, she issued a trigger warning. Like, what do you mean? Candace Owens basically verbally did the same thing that Steven Crowder did when he like recreated the George Floyd execution. Actually, I take it one step further. Steven Crowder is a racist donkey piece of shit asshole who should not have a fucking platform due to just overall having horrendously fucked vibes. But certainly on top of that, because that's how fucked his vibes are. On top of that, everything he says is just like awful. Like it's so hacky. It's so unfunny. He tries so fucking desperate to be funny, and the only thing he can come up with is like humor from a 14-year-old who's been on too many fucking forums. And yet Candace Owens made an entire documentary about George Floyd and how he like deserved to die. Okay? Now you're watching Candace Owens literally issue trigger warnings when they were so united on the anti-black shit.
Which I want to be very clear, this statement I knew was going to come out. I didn't know any of this information. I had no idea there was a video or there was any evidence. I did know that their family was thinking about issuing a statement, and Hillary Crowder did issue a statement. And I'm going to read you that statement in its entirety because it's important. I think it reveals a lot of the lies that Steven has been telling publicly to his audiences. It reads, Hillary is currently living alone in Dallas apart from her family and support system in Michigan and is focused on taking care of her young children. She is not prepared at this time to speak about her divorce becoming public or the misleading statements made by Steven about their relationship. The truth is that Hillary spent years hiding Steven's mentally and emotionally abusive behavior from her friends and family while she attempted to save their marriage. She was the one who was asking to work on their...
Okay, we read all this.
Surgery, because I know exactly what surgery she's referring to, because during my first backstage here at Daily Wire, we actually prayed for Steven and this surgery. So before I show you a clip from us on backstage, here is Steven describing that surgery, and it certainly doesn't sound like it's elective. Take a listen.
I explained to you a little bit what it is. You know, a lot of people say, why are you smoking? My heart is actually great, but my heart doesn't work great. And the reason my heart doesn't work great is, long story short, because of a connective tissue disorder I have, and my chest is caving in on my heart. So I've got about, I'm at a little more than half of the blood flow that you guys have, ventricular output from my heart. So it's a mechanical fix. And I don't know, maybe I'll feel like Lance Armstrong, you know, like I'm on EPO after this, because I don't know what it's like to go through life with full blood flow. To me, I'm looking forward to it, not looking forward to the pain. Lance Armstrong, by the way, with the 3 balls, not the.
Let's get back to this.
The one. So yeah, it's overall a positive thing, and honestly, I've probably needed a little bit of rest. It comes in the form of having my chest cracked open.
Obviously, he had the surgery, and then his lung collapsed, and here is us praying for him, praying that he actually gets better.
Before we leave, I just have to, this one off the subject for a minute. Our pal, Steve Crowder, who makes the best ashtrays in the country, is in the hospital fighting for his life, and he's really come close. He's come close to the dark edge of things. And I just want to say that crazy as he is, we love him, and we're thinking about him. That you know, we hope he makes it back.
You're a better man than I am.
Well, that's true.
I was actually just looking forward to the show being over so that I could text him and say, you know, hope you don't make it, pal.
You know, actually, this is a real story. Last night, I had to go for a drive because it's a long story, but I had to burn down gas to take my car into the shop. And so I was going to smoke a cigar, and, you know, I was going to say my nightly prayers. And I thought, oh, you know, I should probably pray.
These guys love gars, dude. They love smoking those lung darts. You know what I mean? Just a couple of fucking guys, dude. Being bros, being fucking chill. Why is it so villain coded? Like, I just don't understand. Couple of fucking guys smoking some cigars, dude. Fucking hell yeah. This is what dreams are made of. Or nightmares. You're a pussy.
For Crowder, you know, because he's in this. And I thought, oh, well, you know what's great? I'm going to light up one of the cigars that Crowder sent me.
Yeah.
And Crowder, this guy who's a complete maniac, he sent me these beautiful cigars. And I was like, oh, pal, I'm going to send you some cigars right away from my humidor. Haven't sent him a single thing, you know, but that guy, he, you know, really a generous fellow. And doesn't get enough credit.
I actually did text him and say that we were praying for him at great risk to our souls.
And if he dies, I personally will kill him. Right?
And yet, according to his wife, this was an elective surgery, really a cosmetic surgery, because Stephen didn't like the way that his chest looked because he had a sunken chest. And it was not something that was actually required to save his life. And yet we see that same pattern of behavior. Stephen garnering a ton of affection and prayers from his followers,
Hey, he had a chussy.
purporting to be the victim, when in fact the facts don't line up with his narrative. The second portion that I'd like to point to is where it says Hillary was not.
Okay, listen, he got a little top surgery. You don't have to fucking rip him that hard, you know what I mean? Let my man live, you know? He got a little gender affirming top surgery, okay? It's fine. It's just that he doesn't like it when other people do it. Yeah, what's up? God damn. So interesting that the recipient of gender affirming care hates it when trans people do it.
That Stephen hired a divorce attorney. This stands in stark contrast to what he told his followers when he said how hard divorce was and how difficult and horrific it had been and how he really didn't want.
Wait, is that really gender affirming care? Yes, just like what I do with my fucking hairline and the medication I take for my hair is gender affirming care. That quite literally is gender affirming care. Yes. It's literally, all jokes aside, that is gender affirming care, gender affirming healthcare in the form of top surgery. It's a medical procedure.
On it, and just, Texas is a no-fault divorce state. What is the truth here? I don't know. Obviously, right now we have his wife's word versus Stephen's word, but given my personal experience with Stephen, I am very much inclined to believe his wife. Now, I'd like to get in some other portions of this article, which I think are really important. The writer has a bunch of audio files and text messages that were sent to him that he was able to review. He writes, "In audio files and text messages that I reviewed, Stephen Crowder admits to some of his faults, which include a volcanic temper, repeatedly and at times regretfully. But according to sources that I spoke to who are familiar with their relationship, Crowder's admissions often came after a sustained period of mental and emotional abuse, and he didn't seem to be able to control his impulses." That, again, is something that I have seen personally. Very bizarre, but he would insert me into a divorce announcement and purport that I somehow extorted him. It's very bizarre in the way that he attacked the Daily Wire. And there just seem to be a lot of signs that he is not able to control his emotions. And so the question that I will ask is, how many people are going to allege abuse from Stephen Crowder before we listen, before we stop saying he's one of us because he says things that he agrees with? We purport that we are the party of family values. How can you look at that video and defend him in any way? How can you look at that video and not roundly condemn this and say this is not something that actually represents the things that we believe? The writer goes on to say, like so many things in his life in recent years, Crowder's temper and paranoia led him to destroy his relationships with Sir Shapiro, Boring, and others at the Daily Wire when he posted a video on his channel suggesting that the Daily Wire, without naming the company, was attempting to align itself with big tech by mentioning in their initial offer to him that if he was demonetized on social media platforms, that it would reduce his overall compensation. Well, again, going back to the pattern, it's not just the Daily Wire. It's David Landau. It's Sven the Computer. It's Jared Monroe, formerly known as Not Gay Jared, people that are locked into NDAs and are not allowed to speak about the abuse that they endured by Stephen Crowder. It's Owen Benjamin. It's now his wife. Do you believe that all of these various different parties, the majority of them who have never spoken to each other, I've never spoken.
Owen Benjamin is literally like a virulent racist. Like openly so, by the way. Like, straight up. Like, not even like hiding it type shit. You know what I mean? Like, he makes Steven Crowder look like Steven Crowder is masking his racism.
And spend the computer. I've never spoken to David Landau. I've never spoken to Hillary Crowder. I've never spoken to Owen Benjamin. Do you believe that all of these people, as is the paranoid narrative that Steven Crowder is presenting, are working maybe in collusion with big tech to try to destroy him? Or do you believe it's plausible that Steven Crowder is just a monster? I personally believe that he is a monster. And that is, by the way, Stephen, if you're watching, I'm not trying to extort you. I am just simply telling the truth. There was a lot of things that are going on, and I am glad that his wife found the strength to speak out. And I'm calling upon everybody to roundly condemn this, to reject this firmly, not to somehow come up with an excuse and say, oh, well, it's a divorce, so we shouldn't talk about it. We should mind our own business. No, the way that we represent ourselves privately and publicly should be the same. If you purport to care about family values, again, then you should care about this situation and you should condemn it. Yashar Ali also added in this article, in reviewing documentary evidence related to their marriage, Steven Crowder.
Bro, yeah, Candace Owens hates Steven Crowder so much, she said, believe women. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Appears to be obsessed with the idea that his wife is only interested in him for money.
It's a bit weird when, I mean, this man is basically a beacon of practicing what he preaches. And like now all the people that are also kind of preaching that exact same shit are turning on him when it's been brought to light. You know what I mean? Interesting.
Money. Hillary Crowder started dating him well before he became famous and wealthy. He was making less than $100,000 a year when they got married. Again, the Crowder narrative never seems to line up with the reality. And on that note, for those of you that are asking for an update, yes, I did send a cease and desist to him regarding his comments that I somehow extorted him. I sent the cease and desist. I heard back from his lawyer, and essentially what I get from this is that his lawyer is saying that this was just his opinion and it was just Steven Crowder's feelings. And even though it wasn't reality, too bad, so sad. Here's exactly what that legal letter back to me said. I'm going to read you a couple of quotations. It says, the simple fact is that Ms. Owens, as shown in the clip, made thinly veiled threats directed at Mr. Crowder that she would release the alleged dirt she had on him if he kept making statements about the Daily Wire. Mr. Crowder's opinions fall short of any defamation. At most, he has merely opined comparatively the feeling of certain misconduct to his own present state of being. Then the subsequent use of the word threats is not in and of itself an accusation of crime, even within the larger context in which it was used. The most reasonable implication is not an accusation of crime, but that threats have occurred that fall short of being a crime. Again, at most, they are simply reminiscent in Mr. Crowder's personal opinion of the specifically referenced type of misconduct. In short, these are his feelings, they are not facts, and his opinions are protected. And to make it clear for those of you that thought there was something going on in the background or that someone had secretly threatened him, his lawyer is alleging that's not the case. He was simply referring to the exact clip that he showed you of me. Nothing else happened. He just wanted you guys to think that he was under duress in some other capacity. In short, as I have said, I believe Steven Crowder is an absolute monster, and I encourage all of the other people that he has victimized to find their strength to speak out now. By the way, his lawyer offered to me that we could both agree to a ceasefire if I agreed that I would never speak about Steven Crowder again. And to him, I would publicly like to say, your client doesn't have that kind of money to keep Candace Owens from speaking out about things that I find to be absolutely despicable. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
God, they're fighting in the most annoying ways possible. Just like leak more dirt. What are you doing? Instead of just like immediately going the litigious route. They're so fucking annoying. Trying to fucking bite my necklace. Trying to bite my necklace. Doing. Not too long ago, Candace Owens was pro-affairs and gender incorrectly. A trans woman grifting to the right really pays a lot. Yeah. Talked about this already.